These are NFL locker room moments you didn't see on TV.
Looking at videos in his locker.
And Patrick Mahomes' locker room moment wasn't just embarrassing. It got him put on a t-shirt. That's all because cameras caught Mahomes in the locker room where the only things fans noticed were his man boobs and his beer belly. So he wasn't just called fat, given a new nickname, and constantly asked about his new body.
I have a six-pack, it's just under the dad bod.
Mahomes' own teammate literally trolled him by wearing a t-shirt of his dad bod on it. But alright, t-shirts are nothing like the locker room moment that involves some spit and some balls. Now, even though Daddy FieldFlix like that when he's with a Latino mommy, it became an NFL moment between Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. Dak was just being interviewed in front of his locker when Ezekiel decided to troll him by shooting him with spitballs.
Stay focused on whatever I'm doing at this moment. Stay focused on this interview and not someone shooting straws at me.
And yeah, if that wasn't distracting enough, Dak's boy made a spitball, then shot it right at his head. Alright, so I can see why after that, Dak got him back by hitting him with candy during his own interview and filled his entire locker full of it.
What is this?
Man, but even those pranks don't compare to other things players do in locker rooms that got banned by the NFL. The NFL had to step in when they saw ridiculous stuff that veteran players did to the rookies. Whether it was tying their feet together so they had to hop around the locker room, making them perform skits holding fruit that looks like or dumping them in an ice bath that they couldn't get out of. There were even a few teams who shaved rookies' eyebrows and gave them the absolute worst haircuts I've ever fucking seen, man. Oh my god, just look at these. Tim Tebow literally looks like my… never mind. There's no way I'd go out in public with any of these.
Lord.
But alright, as funny as those were to me, not only did a team eventually feel like the haircuts were a humiliating distraction and ban them, the NFL itself felt like all those pranks were considered hazing, or an act that degrades, abuses, and endangers people. So messing with players on that level was forever banned. Damn. But what another player did in the locker room was apparently worse. That's why I got him fined 30 grand. Pat McAfee was still a punter on the Colts, and they just won a close playoff game, which obviously was gonna get the team hyped in the locker room. It seemed like nothing could ruin such a good moment. Until Pat tweeted a pic of his teammate by the lockers and did not realize what was in the background, man. It was another teammate, Andrew Luck, who was literally butt-ass naked. Now, I covered it up because I doubt you'd want to see that, and I don't want YouTube to take my video down. But obviously the NFL didn't want to see players posting cheeks either, so they smacked Pat with a fine for how much?
I put a tweet out that was like $30K.
Oh, hold on, $30,000 for some ass? That's definitely more than I pay. But speaking of ass, in 2025, all because the Titans were talked about as having the worst start to a season in NFL history, it was about to turn into a crazy locker room moment. Because not only have they been outscored by opponents 120-51, other teams gained 1,474 yards to their 842, and at the time of me recording, they were tied for the worst record in the league at 0-4. But all of that 4-0 ass start is partially because of their first overall pick, Cam Ward, who's honestly been throwing interceptions and playing like a trash can himself, so all he could say about the start of their season was,
I mean, if we keep it above right now, we ass. We have to lock in, especially myself on the offensive line.
Yeah, and he better lock in, or else the Titans might have the worst entire season of all time. But locker room moments aren't always so deep, because there is the one moment that almost made Joe Burrow shit his pants. Now, listen, I don't know why, but his teammate dressed up like a mannequin in the locker room just to scare anyone who walked by. And after freaking out a few trainers, like one who almost dropped his food, then also scaring a few players, when someone called Joe over.
Joe.
Oh my
Oh my god, alright, but speaking of scaring the shit out of teammates, an NFL legend did something even crazier to humiliate his opponents. Chad Johnson had already been humiliating pretty much any players he could by going off every single game that season on the field. But things were about to go to another level when it came to things he was about to do in the locker room. Before a matchup against the Browns, Chad messed with some players by actually sending them a gift, a Pepto-Bismol, a medicine used to help stomach aches, and I'll let them tell you why.
Chad Johnson, Cincinnati Bengals. He sent the whole secondary a packet. You see that?
Wow.
So Wednesday, I took some Pepto-Bismol and I sent it to the entire secondary. The note on it said, "This is for y'all because you're gonna get sick to your stomach of trying to cover me."
Alright, man is a menace for that. But an NFL locker room moment making LeBron laugh is one thing. I didn't think another NBA-related moment would actually involve Kevin Durant beefing with an NFL team and their entire city. Since KD is from DC and he's always repping the Commanders, when they played the Lions in the playoffs, a player scored the first touchdown on him, then trolled KD by hitting a little dance that he used to before NBA games. But man was about to regret that trolling, cause once the Commanders took the lead and eventually upset the Lions, KD didn't just repost his dance saying, "Have a great night, Detroit." He joined players in the locker room who were clowning the Lions. And since Detroit is known for their rap scene, where the biggest rappers there always wear Cartier glasses known as buffs, all KD could say to Detroit was,
What you gotta say though? What's your buff song?
Alright, little does everybody know I be wearing Cartier in real life too, but y'all are not getting that face reveal if we don't get 500,000 subs soon, so subscribe. Anyways, enough about me, cause there's another NFL locker room moment that involves someone reading a player's mind. See, the Eagles brought in a guy who claimed to be a mind reader, and he decided to test his skills on A.J. Brown.
Close your eyes for me. I want you to try to picture the face of the first girl you ever had a big crush on. Whoa. Is there any way in the world that I could have gone on Instagram, Facebook, asked around, looked this up? Any chance? 1%? Half? 0? 0%. Challenge accepted, AJ. I think we're looking at, this is grade school still. Hold on, keep your eyes closed, keep your eyes closed. Yeah, this is puppy love. It's not the real thing. Keep your eyes closed. Don't say it. Everybody in the room. Open your eyes, AJ. Tell us all. What's her name, your first crush? Fantasia.
Oh my god, but alright, as insane as that was, another player's locker room moment had him clowning how small his teammates' size is. Now, that makes sense when you look at this man, Deuce Vaughn. He's 5'6", and was the shortest player that the Cowboys ever had. So when his teammate CeeDee Lamb saw that a different player's kid left some football equipment in the locker room, he saw the perfect opportunity to clown Deuce.
Everybody do me a favor and pass the message. Deuce, stop leaving your cleats and your gloves in the locker room. This is not your home.
Alright, come on man. Trolling a man over his size is not funny. Actually, that's hilarious. Unlike when one of the proudest moments of Saquon Barkley's career led to a locker room moment where people thought he got tested for something illegal. November 24th, 2024 was about to be a day Saquon never forgot. Cause well, the belt to ass he was about to put on the Rams during their game was actually about to be legendary. Saquon wasn't just catching hella passes, like one that made him look like the best damn receiver on his team. This man absolutely dominated by scoring 2 huge touchdowns, all while racking up 302 total yards, which was an Eagles all-time record for a single game. And since history was made where no Eagles player ever did that before, on top of it being the best game of Saquon's entire career, Saquon was probably just expecting the NFL to test him for an illegal substance like they did after he jumped over a player backwards.
I got drug tests right after the game.
I bet you do.
But when Saquon got back in the locker room after beating the Rams, everyone noticed a weird letter on his locker.
Coincidence they're drug testing you after a game like
That's
this?
not me.
That's not, oh, okay.
Dallas tried to put
okay, that's a joke, okay.
Yeah, I've been drug tested enough, so hopefully I get away from that.
Now that is hilarious. But now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Well, the reason you clicked, because the thumbnail was this. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens had 6 of the craziest locker room moments in NFL history. The first of the 6 moments came after a preseason win, where as Lamar's squad was walking to the locker room, they all got clowned by the other team's fans until Lamar responded with, "Oh my god, I don't know why him and so many other athletes do that now." But Lamar's second locker room moment was even funnier, because it involved a kid's cartoon. Remember Phineas and Ferb? Well, a character from that show named Buford reminded Lamar of his teammate.
Yo.
But alright, clowning his teammate was actually the opposite of Lamar's third locker room moment that got him flamed by an entire team. Because during a game, cameras caught Lamar awkwardly jogging to the locker room where fans instantly assumed he had to poop. And even though they made edits of him as Paul Pierce, an NBA legend who literally shit his pants one game, not only did Lamar deny those allegations,
but just to clarify, you didn't have to use the bathroom or anything in the back, right? You were kind of like jogging, like you had to use the bathroom or something.
I was cramping. I ain't putting Paul Pierce in.
After that, the Browns trolled him in their schedule release video. Okay, hold up. I know the Browns ain't trolling when Lamar was shit for one game, but they're shit almost every year. Regardless, Lamar's fourth locker room moment only happened because of Beyonce. See, when she was scheduled to perform the halftime show for the Ravens' Christmas Day game, instead of wanting to game plan with the squad in the locker room, Lamar had some different plans.
A little disappointing that she's going to be performing at a halftime show that you can't watch.
Nah, because I'm going to go out there and watch. I'm going to go out and watch. Sorry, Hawa. Sorry, fellas. Nah, man, I'm not even thinking about the lead. I was just thinking about just seeing Beyonce for the first time.
Now, I don't blame Lamar. He knows she's bad. But all right. This fifth moment was actually a completely different emotion and was heartbreaking because this game was supposed to settle who the best quarterback in the league was between the Ravens and Bills, aka Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. Lamar started off leading the squad downfield till they eventually scored, then Josh would do the same. Both of them were making play after play and keeping things close all the way until the very end. But even though the Ravens had a chance to win, they fumbled, miraculously got the ball back, scored again, and with the game on the line, along with one of the best tight ends in the league wide open to catch an easy pass to tie, he bobbled it. And even though they could have won after that, they lost, and Lamar's legacy was tarnished because of it. So in the locker room afterward, I'm gonna be honest, I'd never seen Lamar so emotional as he was face down crying. Obviously his teammates felt bad, and he was even having to be comforted by a trainer, tearing up long after that. But what's even worse is that's how their season ended, and heartbreak continued for yet another locker room moment to start the very next season. This final moment could ruin the Ravens. Because in 2025, even though everyone projected them to be a top team in the NFL for another year, they just started choking away leads to lose close games. And one of their main issues is their star, Derrick Henry, who fumbled in all 3 games with 2 of them coming in crucial moments. Now, Lamar's known to hate fumbles.
Hold on to the ball. I'm sorry for my language, but this annoying.
And obviously he was pissed. So the Ravens sounded completely demotivated talking about the start of their season.
We're just not very good. It's just not the standard.
Definitely not where we wanted to be. No excuses can be made at this point.
Just the biggest problem is we didn't play good run defense, and that's not who we are. It cannot be who we are.
You know, not just this loss. Week 1 was a wake-up call. Last week was a wake-up call, you know, because we started off slow.
But after that, not only did Lamar get injured in another game that they got blown out, many analysts feel like now the Ravens are in danger of completely missing the playoffs. So it's only a matter of time that their locker room goes from looking like the NFL to the UFC.